Hey there, Dr. Mark here, and in today's video, I'm gonna break down for you the process of working with a nutrition client from start to finish. We're talking from the first time someone reaches out to you, says, Mark, I know you're a nutrition coach, I wanna lose some weight, what do I need to do? To the process of working with them, getting them results, graduating them, and then growing your business. I'm gonna take you through all of it step by step. I'm also gonna use my client, Jason, as an example here. Jason had This is not the craziest transformation you've ever seen. Hopefully, let's pull it up on the screen there. But this guy dropped like 30 pounds in 6 months. He looks like an entirely different person. He did it for a photo shoot, I think for a firefighter calendar, and crushed it. He looks literally 20 years younger. The process is insane. I'm gonna use him as an example throughout this process. Okay, so Jason reaches out to me, says, hey, I got this photo shoot coming up. I know you coach people. I want to get in the best shape I can. What do I need to do? The first thing I should have ready for Jason is in step one here, through the application process, I should have a form ready for him, ready to go. I can have this, just a link for it. I can do it on Google Form. I can link it up in a few different places in my social media bios, but I really want to have it ready to send it over to him. It's not a bad idea to have it in your social media bios because people will know through that process that you're taking on clients. They can just see it. It's a reminder that there's an opportunity to work with you. You want a form ready to go. This form should include 4 to 6 questions, not so many questions that it scares people off from filling it. You really want conversion. It shouldn't feel like homework, but it should give you enough information to get a better place or a better sense of where they're coming from, what they want to accomplish, which is the most important thing. Goals is your leverage. Someone like Jason might be ready to go, but other people, and ready to take the next step forward, but other people might be sort of like testing the waters and not so sure what they're going to do, like if they're going to sign up and work with you or take this next step. So we want to keep that in mind, that when we have their goals and what they want to accomplish, and not just the result, but what the result will give them, it makes us not so much a nutrition coach that's telling them what to do. We're just the person that has the path to results and the next step moving forward. There's gonna be a bunch of different resources throughout these steps. I've included it all in a free resource, my nutrition coaching system, that you can use with the templates, the exact forms, everything you need to navigate and put it into action. You can find that in the first link in the description below, and I'll reference these as we keep going here. But we want to form 4 to 6 questions, someone's goals, what they've tried in the past, how ready they are to change, where to contact them, not so much inquiry that it's going to scare them off. We want to get them to fill that out and take that next step forward. With that being said, what we teach in the Nutrition Coaching Academy is once we have this information, it's never a bad idea to respond to that form using something like Loom, where you can actually, show your face and talk over what you're seeing. Hey, Jason, thanks so much for reaching out to me and applying to work with me. I see here that you want to do this. This is exactly what I do within my coaching. I want to collect a bit more information around what you're doing now, so it can show you what's holding you back from reaching your goals. In the next step here, I would get them to do an assessment. And this is before we start working with them. I would get them to do an assessment. We actually call this the free nutrition report. It's a hugely valuable lead magnet, or I would say conversion, process. It's one of those things where people that are interested in this stuff, they're not so sure yet. They don't know what the difference between like coaching is and an ebook or an informational product. We can just show them through the process of teaching them and highlighting what's holding them back from their goals, why they should work with us. It's an opportunity for us to flex everything that we know. Through this assessment, I respond to this form. I get them to start tracking for 3 to 5 days, track their nutrition without changing a thing, so that we can take a look at their normal habits for nutrition. And most importantly, since 90% of the people that are going to want to work with you have some sort of body composition goal in mind, we want to see daily totals for energy intake, so the amount of calories they're consuming, as well as where those calories are coming from. the macronutrients. So we want to see and be able to point out with some trends, are they eating enough protein? Are they in a calorie deficit? Are they consistent enough on a day-to-day basis? Getting them to do some tracking will allow us to take a look at everything, and we can collect information on my actual, let's call it the NCA coaching system. We'll have an assessment tab, a tracking tab, a place to input some calculations. You'll get all that information and all of those templates down in the description below, and we'll also use it for the coaching part here. So it's a great resource. Make sure you go to get that. But essentially, what we can do is start to point out, here's what's holding you back from your goals that you originally outlined for me, and now here's the coaching process. So that's really good to help take people from curious and turn them into paying clients. At this point, again, I want you not just to think about the coaching process, but also think about your coaching business here. Once you outline this to them, you should be making the pitch to coaching. Based on what I'm seeing here, you'd be a great fit to work with me. Here, let me tell you a little bit more about my nutrition coaching process. You can do this all through a Loom video. You don't have to do it through a sales call, especially at the beginning. Many of these people that are be coming to you as you get this stuff going will be in your social circle. There'll be acquaintances, coworkers, that kind of stuff. They know you already. And it's probably at a price point, which I'm going to talk to you in a second, that doesn't require it being having to do a sales call. So don't worry about that at this point. But your nutrition coaching offer, and again, this is where I want you to start thinking about the business side of things, should be one-on-one nutrition coaching with a weekly check-in, which we'll talk about in a second and explain, and a personalized plan where you're adjusting things and you're doing the feedback within that weekly check-in through collecting information, both objective and subjective. The objective information is, once you have a sense of what they're doing with their nutrition and what's holding them back, you're setting up some flexible dieting targets as the structure of their nutrition. Here's what I recommend you eat, on a calorie and macronutrient basis every day. And then through the coaching process, you start to pinpoint specific habits and action steps that'll fill that structure. So it isn't just habits and focus on these things, and it's not just here are your macros, go do it. You need a combination of both of these things. Structure and habits. That's what we teach, and that's what we believe in, because it gets crazy results. With that being said, you pass this stuff along, you'd be a good fit for my coaching. My coaching rates are between $200 to $300 per month. You're gonna pick a specific number. My coaching rate is $250 each and every month. This is a coaching service. Based on your goals, I think it's going to take you close to 6 months, but let's do this on a month-by-month basis, working towards your goals, and you could cancel the coaching service before your next month's payment is up just by notifying me, and we'll go from there. That's the best place to get this started. I would encourage you to do it that way instead of selling packages, although you probably want people to commit for longer as well as get paid up front. I completely understand that, but you also want to bump up your monthly recurring revenue, especially at the beginning. Because if you sell 6 packages one month, which is great, it's amazing, but then only one the next month, and you've spent all this money and you haven't budgeted very well, it makes it really hard to take your nutrition coaching business from a hobby and turn it into like your full-time thing, because it's a bit more unpredictable. And that's even if you're doing a good job with marketing your business and those type of things. So I would have my nutrition coaching offer focused on that one-on-one coaching, a monthly rate, weekly check-ins. And once we've explained all that and we've signed up the client, you can just set them up on a simple payment processor like Stripe or PayPal, and it'll do that monthly recurring payment without them putting it through, without you chasing them. It'll just do it automatically. You're gonna then, number one, congrats, you just got a new paying client. Hopefully he's gonna get amazing results like Jason, and you'll continue to be able to grow your business through referrals, as well as highlighting the amazing stories of the people that you're working with through social media, which is putting on our marketing hat. But then through the onboarding process, we're gonna set some expectations around what the client should expect from you as the coach and what your role is and your responsibility and what's within your scope, as well as what you expect from them through the coaching process. So you're going to set them up on a check-in day, tell them exactly where to submit their information, what time they should submit their information, setting a deadline by, when you'll respond by, how you'll respond, and clear expectations around how that process will go. The more you outline those, stand firm around them, and stick with them, the better results your clients will get, and the more effective and streamlined you will become as a coach because you have that system in place. We want to explain all of these expectations here in the onboarding process. It's completely up to you. You could do that through a call and kind of like a welcome call. Not a bad idea to set that, the tone from the beginning, but you don't necessarily have to do that either. It's not like a prerequisite. It's not like a essential thing. Many people will be able to explain this in a welcome document, maybe talk over it, maybe do a generic video version of it for all of their clients to make the process a little bit scalable that way. These are all things that you can do, but you really want to set crystal clear expectations from the beginning. Then we got a client. Now's the fun part. Now we got to coach them towards results. I would be set them up on that weekly check-in process where, let's say you have 5 paying clients, they all know that they should have their check-in submitted no later than Monday morning at 9 a.m. because that's when you're gonna sit down and do all of your check-ins. If you have 5, it shouldn't take you more than an hour. If you're getting more experience doing this stuff and doing it again, you don't need meetings to do this stuff. You don't wanna go into nutrition coaching and then get a flexible gig just to end up setting appointments and running all over town and doing it live or doing it on Zoom. You don't need any of that stuff. You need to collect information, you need to respond to it in an effective and streamlined way. And it's gonna save you a lot of time. Your clients are gonna get even better results. We do that check-in process through our hybrid check-ins using a streamlined form and Loom. You can learn more about that in the nutrition coaching system. But also we have a separate training on that. You can find that in the second link in the description below. That'll be called the hybrid check-in. Learn how to use it. You're gonna love it. It's super, super streamlined and effective. You're gonna work with this person. And the thing I like about month to month is that, like, man, if a client's paying for another month and they're a little bit hungry to continue to improve, as well as you as a coach, since you don't have all the money up front. I know you got into this because you're passionate and you love helping people, but sometimes you get paid up front and you get a little less engaged as time goes on. It keeps you focused each and every month because putting food in the fridge depends on it, right? Like, it's gonna depend on that stuff. So keep that in mind as well. And we're coaching this person through this process. Generally, and I can say this through working with almost 2,000 nutrition clients, most clients are gonna stay on with you for an average of between 4 to 7 months. Regardless of their goals, that's kind of like the sweet spot. Number one, through this coaching process, you should have an idea of what their goals are and ideally help them reach their goals and then spend some time working towards whatever maintenance will be. It can be, whatever maintenance can be. That could be like reverse dieting and getting closer to maintenance and maybe pulling out some of the more objective aspects of your approach, going from a more tracking-based approach to more mindful eating practices where they don't need to have such firm structure. But ideally, you're gonna be taking your client through that process as well and having an exit plan. And ideally they're doing that. You've done such a good job and provided so much value that they don't wanna stop. And then now they're just focusing on getting to maintenance and whatever the next goal could be. There's an industry myth that you can't work with people forever, and you certainly can, especially if they have different goals. You don't need to teach someone everything that you know and then release them into the wild and they never need you again. The reason why this stuff works is, yes, you're passing along knowledge and they're learning new skills and they're reaching results, which is great. But there's also accountability, there's also guidance, there's also setting new goals and new direction. If things are working, why would you stop that? You can start to think about the exit strategy and what the next step is and the next goal through this coaching process, as well as fulfilling on your coaching obligations, which are those weekly check-ins. Now, as a client gets closer to results, they're looking like Jason, they're looking amazing. Jason would be a fantastic coach, and he's reached out to me about it as well. Jason, if you're watching this, you should get into coaching because your experience and knowledge base and how hard you worked is something that inspires many people. It's probably inspiring people in this video, so you should do it. But with that being said, as you get closer to graduation and he is in a better place, maybe he isn't going to be coached anymore. He wants to try things out on his own, which is also completely fair and valid. We want to set him up for success, as well as we're going to start to take these results and market them to more people that are just like Jason. So we got results, and we also have marketing. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that someone like Jason and these pictures and the experience they had, he's going to be a walking testimonial and billboard for your coaching process, not just because of the way he looks, but through the experience and what he did, not having to cut out a bunch of food, not having to do anything like that, just using a science-based approach and being guided by a coach, all of those things. But you should also be highlighting this process of transformation throughout the entire process, not just at the end. So the things that clients are saying to you during check-ins, you should be taking screenshots and talking about them with their permission, of course, but talking about them. You should also be, like through the onboarding process, if someone has a question, other people, both existing clients, as well as maybe potential clients, probably have the same question. So you can highlight that stuff as well. Through the assessment process, you're an expert in nutrition. You're pointing things out to people that are holding them back from their goals. Talk about that stuff. Talk about it online. In the Nutrition Coaching Academy, we talk about all these things as like putting on our marketing hat, taking off our coaching hat for a second, putting on our marketing hat. People look at me at times and they think, oh man, you got so good at marketing. I knew none of this stuff before I started focusing on it and got good at the habit of highlighting the story and showcasing how I'm helping people. And it's just a deliberate effort, and you could do it too. The application form, these goals, the things that people are filling you in on in their language, you should be using that exact language for new nutrition coaching offers and putting it in place. Like, you need to be marketing your business throughout this entire process. With that being said, this is Nutrition Coaching 101 and how to start working with a nutrition client from start to finish. Now, if you enjoyed this video, the one thing I want to highlight is you probably need more practice during this check-in process part. So what I'm going to do is link up a video right here that's going to break down the entire nutrition coaching check-in process from start to finish. You're going to learn more about that in the video I've linked up right here. So check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.